Hey, welcome back to JG3 Reviews. My name is James, and here we explore the world of fountain pens, paper, and ink. And today, it's a paper day. You might have figured that out already, right? And it's a bargain paper day. So all of the papers that I want to show you today have come from either Dollar Tree or Walmart. For those in the U.S., this is going to be easy paper, easy resources to find and really affordable options. And I think you might be surprised at what a good value these actually are. So first, let's look at the Dollar Tree papers. These are, as you can see, $1.25, because Dollar Tree is actually a $1.25 tree. Neither of these are premium papers. You're not going to get that for $1.25, but they are a handy little notebook and notepad with decent quality, especially for the low price that you're paying. So this is, of course, one of these poly-covered spirals. These are everywhere. As you can see, or maybe you can't. Yes, as you can see here on the back, this is paper made in India, and that usually means that it's going to be fairly fountain pen friendly. Now, in this particular one, I have already done a test, and you might have already paused the screen and gotten a little preview there a second ago. And I've used several different inks. So the red is a ballpoint pen. That's going to work pretty much on any inexpensive paper. But a lot of us like gel pens. So I've used a Pentel Intergel here at the top, and then the rest are various fountain pens with ink from a few different companies so that we get various results. So how did the Jot Spiral, again just $1.25 for the Dollar Tree, how did this fare? It's fair, not too bad, not perfect by any means. You do have some definite ghosting, and you've got some little dots here on the other side. Depending on the ink you choose, it would still definitely be usable, but you are going to need to choose your pen carefully, or your ink really is the issue, more carefully. So the gel pen, not too bad. There's a dot where it came through. There isn't any bleed through onto the other side over here, but there definitely is ghosting all over the page. But there are some exceptions, and one especially good exception. Again, the gel from Pentel, not too bad at all. The next line is Pelican Turquoise, which is a well-behaved ink, but it did come through some. And then the next one is Monteverde, yes, Monteverde Yosemite Green, and you have some spots where that's come through as well. Same with the next one. But what is it here that has done so well? Well, that's a very well-behaved ink. This is a Platinum Curadas with Platinum Black, a black ink cartridge from Platinum. But Platinum makes really paper-friendly ink, and they tend to perform better on less expensive paper. There's a tip that you might want to remember. Platinum inks, especially their blue-black that is standard and their black standard, do really well. And as you can see here, flawless performance on an inexpensive paper. There is no problem here whatsoever. There's not even ghosting, much less bleed through. And that next one is, I believe, Lamy. That's a Diamine Oxford Blue, and then the next one is a Pen BBS number 85 Sapphire. So most of the fountain pen ink did come through a bit and spotted a little. Your best choice was that Platinum. It did better than the gel pen. Of course, the ballpoint did just fine. But for $1.25, that's fine. It's okay to be a little ink sensitive at that price. I'm just going to remember which inks and pens perform better on it. Not too bad. Now our next paper, also from the Dollar Tree, also $1.25, is quite literally just a notepad. It is the Array Notepad. It too is made in India, but this paper seems to be of a bit different quality than was found in that spiral. Probably a different supplier, or maybe just a different grade of paper. We don't really know where these come from exactly. This one does have a tie-in to Dixon Ticonderoga, so it's somebody they've contracted to make paper for them in India. And I think you'll be interested in how this performed. I was pleasantly surprised. So first, unlined, no dots, no nothing, just plain paper. And look at the performance of the inks on this particular paper. You'll notice that this one has some really nice shading. So Pelican Turquoise, which is what this is, always has nice shading on good paper, and it has nice shading on this paper. The Forest Green from Pentel, that's a gel pen. Just a nice solid line. There's no feathering going on here with any of these. The Yosemite, again, nice shading, which it will do on good paper. The Platinum Curados with that black ink looks good. It's not quite as dark as it was on that other paper, but it performs well. The Pen BBS Sapphire, the Diamine Sargasso C, and a Sapphire Blue in this Jinhao 10. They all look good. Some of them have some really nice shading. There's no feathering. This performed really well on this side of the page. If we flip this over, it's not just on that side of the page. Check out how much better the inks performed on this notepad. The inks performed better than the perforation did, unfortunately. But yeah, they did great. There's no bleed through whatsoever, and I was really prepared for there to be bleed through. But there's not any. There's a little ghosting on this line, which is the Sargasso C, and there's a bit of ghosting on that Pen BBS Sapphire Blue. But that's it. Otherwise, everything here performed really well. So if you're at the Dollar Tree and you don't need a large sheet of paper, 4x6 will do. This would be my recommendation. Your $1.25 is well spent on this little notepad. That's some nice paper for the price. Next up, we go to Walmart, and this is one of my favorite little notebooks that they've had for the last year or so. And you may have actually seen this in some other reviews, both mine and other people's. This is made in Vietnam, and that usually means a pretty well-behaved paper when it comes to fountain pen ink. And that is the case here, as I'll show you in just a second. But what I really like about this is that it's about $1. And sometimes you can find it in stock in a pack of, I don't remember if it's 4 for $4 or 5 for $5, something like that, but you can get it in a multi-pack. And this is a really good little EDC notebook. It is lined. The second half, as it says here, the second half of the notebook is perforated so you can tear those sheets out. And it performs pretty decently, especially at about $1. But let me show you what it looks like in actual real-world performance. I recently acquired a Lockby Field Folio in the A5 size, and the Walmart paper here, the pen and gear, is, as it says there, it is A5. Now the refills that Lockby sells are really nice. They're very similar looking to this notebook, or vice versa, as the case may be. I mean, cardboard cover is a cardboard cover, right? But on the inside, they have Tomoe River paper. So really nice notebooks. You've seen that featured, by the way. In my ink reviews, I always include a Lockby with the old school Tomoe River paper, the pre-2021 paper for my ink test. But eventually I'll run out and I'll have to change to something else, right? Anyway, in my Lockby Folio, and I'm still setting it up, is of course the Lockby notebook that comes with it. But back behind that, I have a couple of Apica notebooks, and then I have one of these from Walmart. I'm still working through just exactly what I want my standard refill to be, so I'm going to do a comparison in my own time between all these papers. Anyway, I have already been using this notebook well before I happened to get the Lockby Folio here. And what I've got, let me move that ink bottle out of the way before I make a mess, as a writing sample is some writing I did on a trip last year. What does it say? I think the date's on here, June 8th, 2024. I was on a ship in Alaska, and so I was taking some time to write. In this case, this is Ecclesiastes 3. A lot of you know this passage about how there is an occasion for everything and a time for every activity. So I was writing this with a Lamy All-Star with a Lamy blue-black ink cartridge. And as you can see, shading-wise, looks really good. You can see a little bit of ghosting here in this blank spot from the other side, so that did happen. But there's writing on both sides of all of this and totally legible. I'm talking about the ink. I'm not talking about my handwriting. But you can see there that the paper performs really pretty well. Now here at the back, I have a much wider variety of pens and inks, including some that pretty much have some ghosting on everything. And one thing you will notice, and again, pardon my handwriting, this was all done for me, this wasn't done for video review, is that there's really not a problem here with feathering. Most of the inks perform very, very well. Nice and clean lines. You've got everything here from extra fines and ballpoints and gel pens to some stub nibs and things like that. So quite a variety and from a lot of different ink companies. Now when we flip this over, you're going to see that only a few came through. There's one here, and I believe I know what that is, right? Yes. Wait, is that... I got to figure out exactly. Yes, that's what I thought it was. It's the Monteverde Blue Sky. Very vibrant blue ink. I really love it, but it does ghost on some papers. The Majestic Blue below it performed flawlessly. No issue whatsoever, and you get some really nice sheen. And again, this is $1. It's $1. Then you come on down, and what else came through? What is this? I think I know. Yes, Noodler's Turquoise. And that one will ghost on some papers, and that's on a 1.1 millimeter stub, a TWSBI pen that I have. Then you have to go down a few lines. And next it is Noodler's Liberty's Elysium. Really nice bright blue. I like that ink, and I keep it in that pen and have for years on end, but it does come through on some papers. And then next was what? Is that really? Let me see here. What is that? Kaweco Royal Blue in that Kaweco Sport Piston pen, and Pilot Blue Black. Is that what that is? I think so. I think Pilot Blue Black is the other one where it came through. And a little bit down here with the Pelican Turquoise as on the Indian paper. Maybe you couldn't see that, but down here you see that Pelican Turquoise came through just a little bit. Looks really good on this side though. So really good performance, quite usable. This is not bleed through from the other page. This was, I closed it while the ink was still wet. You know, you really shouldn't do that. I should have checked, right? Anyway, you can see that the performance of this paper overall is really quite good. So not an issue there. And boy, if you are looking for a less expensive, maybe you don't need Tomoe River paper in a notebook like the Lockby Field Journal or Folio, either one in the A5 size, maybe this is something you need to check out. It's a bargain. And that brings us to our final one, and it is another Pen and Gear notebook that comes from Walmart. And I don't think I mentioned before, all of these I will put a link in the review so that you can find them. I don't benefit from that. That's just so that you can go and find one of these papers if you're interested. And this comes in a 3-pack. I checked today, and the current price is $4.99. That's online. I assume it's the same in the store. My store happens to be out of stock at the moment. But if you see this one, go and grab it. What caught my attention with these is obviously the National Park covers. Now I have some of the Field Notes series for the National Park travel poster covers. I love those, but most of the time I want to write with something larger, and this is almost the same as an A5. It's just a little bit different in dimension. It probably would fit in that Lockby Folio or the Field Journal, but what I really was most interested in at the time is the cover. So there are 3 different ones. It's Acadia National Park, Yellowstone National Park, and Yosemite. 3 awesome places. I've never gotten to go to Yellowstone. Yosemite, one of my favorite places on earth. Absolutely loved our visit there. And while I haven't been in Acadia National Park, I've been close in Maine, the coast of Maine, one of my happy places. Absolutely love it. So obviously I had to grab these, didn't I? Let me put those others aside and we'll take a closer look. So these are not, I mean, it's $5 for all 3 of them. So they're not expensive notebooks. Understand the quality that you're purchasing. It's not the same as, say, the Lockby with the Tomoe River, and it's not going to be bound to the same quality as, say, the Epica notebook that I pulled out. But you are still actually getting sewn binding. It is a glued cover, but you get sewn binding. It should fit, if you wanted to put it in that folio, fit just fine in there. You probably get all 3 of these in there, no problem. This is all lined paper. I don't think they offer it in anything else. I haven't found it in anything else. It's white instead of cream like 1 or 2 of these others, and it performs pretty well. So here I have some of the same pens, some a little bit different, but we've got Diamine Sargasso Sea, Monteverde Yosemite, Pilot Blue Black, Diamine Oxford Blue, that Platinum Black again, the Pen BBS Sapphire again, that Forest Green Gel pen again. Of course, the red ballpoint's going to do fine. The Pelican Turquoise again, and I keep using that because since it comes through on some of these papers, that actually makes it a good ink to test with, even if it's not what I would choose to write on some of these papers with all the time. And then in my Parker 45 vintage pen, I can't remember what blue I put in that pen. So there's ink. There's an ink in that pen. How did it do? Check that out. Nothing to report. It did awesomely well. $4.99. You get 3 really cool covers. I don't think they're exact replicas of any sort of particular travel poster. They just are kind of inspired by the old national park travel posters, which I think is really cool. And that's just a fun option. And then not only that, they performed very well. So there you go. 4 different choices, 2 easy stores to find throughout the United States, and any of the ones from Walmart you can have shipped to your door. So that's pretty handy, and at really good deals, and decent performance from all of them, and really good performance from a couple of them. All right, as always, I want to thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you'd like to, share in the comments other papers like these that I ought to be checking out, because some of you have some great ideas and some great things and places that I haven't thought of. And I might be missing a really great notebook that I'd love to share with everybody else. So share that in the comments below, and God bless you, and have a wonderful week.